Welcome back to Aisha's Academy, and in today's video we're going to go through inequalities on a graph. So I will put the link in below, but I have a video on inequalities in general, like the equation form. However, they may ask you inequalities on a graph, and that basically involves drawing inequalities on a graph. So an example of this. So for instance, in this question per se, we've got two equations of a straight line, and basically it wants us to draw the following inequalities listed below on this graph. So the only line they haven't drawn on here is the x is greater than 3, so I've drawn the line for x is equal to 3. So if they're saying the inequality is x greater than 3, then it's going to involve the areas where I've pointed the arrows from that x equals 3 line. And the other arrows I'm showing, for instance, the x is greater than x minus 2, shows that it's going to cover those areas, and then the x plus y is less than 10 is going to cover those areas. So in terms of the marks or the crosses that we are going to analyze for this question, it's going to be those within that triangular area, as they all fall within those regions. And that's basically that question done. So going into practice questions. Example 1. So in this example, it's given us 3 inequalities, and it wants us to basically label the region y. So we're going to draw each of the lines on the graph. So the first one that we're going to draw is the y is greater than x minus 1 line. So we've drawn the y is equal to x minus 1. Then we're going to draw the y is equal to x minus 3. It makes it easier when you draw the equal lines and then get onto the greater and less than signs. And then we've drawn the x plus y is equal to 4 line. So the x plus y is less than 4 would cover those areas covered by the arrow. The y is less than 3x would cover those areas, and then the y is greater than x minus 1 would cover those areas. Or as you can see, notice how they all form this triangle, and that's your region R. And that's that. Example 2. So here, per se, they've actually drawn the region, shaded region. They just actually want us to write down the inequalities. So we're basically going to mark out the equations of each line. So that line is going to be x is equal to minus 2, because notice how each point on that line is x is minus 2. That line is going to be x is equal to 4, okay? And then the horizontal ones, so the first horizontal one is y is equal to 3, and then the other horizontal line is y is equal to 1. So now that we know the actual equations, we need to write them as inequalities. So notice how the shaded region for x is equal to minus 2 is covering the bigger numbers. So it's showing that that inequality is x is greater than or equal to minus 2. And then for the other line, x is equal to 4, notice how it's covering the smaller regions of that line. So it's going to be x is less than or equal to 4. And the reason why these are less than or equal to is because the actual points of the rectangular shape are included in the shaded region. So that's why it's equal to. And then we're going to do the same for the other lines. So the other one is going to be y is greater than or equal to 1, because again, it's showing the higher numbers of that. And then the other one is going to be y is less than or equal to 3, because it's showing the values below that line. So I use the arrows to kind of help illustrate which areas are being covered by the inequality. I hope this is useful, and thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more content. That's pretty much that.